So the Orie, the name. How does the Orie name comes about?
Origami.
Origami.
Orie and something. Right?
The Orie is launching next year in January 2025. Many buyers in this area have been longing for a new launch project for the past 8 years. And one of the questions we often get is whether to buy a high floor or low floor unit, which one can make more profit? That's what we will be discussing in this video today. Hi, this is Kaizer.
This is Zach here. So today we're going to introduce the Orie. Let's dive into what's all this going to about, and we want to talk a little bit more on should we buy high floor or low floor, in which Kaizer will cover a little bit more later. So let me just give you a brief introduction of the Orie in Toa Payoh. It's going to be launched specifically 3rd January 2025, and the launch date is going to be 18 January. This development is actually a JV between 3 developers, the CDL, Fraser's Property, and Sekisui House. Kaizer, do you think Sekisui is sweet?
I think it's pretty sweet.
Okay, so we're going to pause a little bit. I mean, you can pause a little bit to see these 3 developers' track records. In fact, most of them are very nice, very sweet. You see the architecturals. For example, Fraser's, you have your Martin Place, Riveri, CDL also recently developed, Canning View Piers. Sekisui also is a very nice one, like Seaside Residences. If you live in D15, you probably know that. And also one Holland V. These are all their projects. So the Orie itself has 2 towers of 40 stories. And if you are staying nearby, you will know Gem Residence is actually quite a high-rise development right next to it. If anyone has visited Gem Residences, the high floor, you have a very amazing panoramic view of the skyline in Toa Payoh area. If you're to stay here with a high floor, the view is amazing. It has a basement car park and some communal facilities like your usual condos. Okay, do something funny. So the total number of units are James Bond 777. This is how you recognize the Orie in the future. And this is going to be a very prime location because it's right next to MRT station. It's even closer compared to Gem Residences because it's just 5 minutes away from Breda MRT station, which is situated at the junction of Lorong 1 and Lorong 4, Toa Payoh. Let's quickly jump into the unit types of the development. If you look at this chart, about 60% of the unit mix is 1 plus study to 3 bedder, and the other 40% are actually bigger unit types, 3 bedder premium all the way to 5 bedder with private lift. So you can see that the 3 developers are preparing to have big demand of huge family size and those who are looking to upgrade to the bigger space. And even the 5 bedder has about 77 units available, which is about 10% of the total unit types. It's safer for you to actually invest into or buy into because the demography of the people staying there are more family profiles, and perhaps more locals will be the buyers instead of foreign investors. And the developers are very confident that big ballers with deep pockets in the area will buy the 5 bedders here. And just to share with you one particular layout of 2 bed 1 bath that stands out to us. While it is 592 square feet, the kitchen can be enclosable, as you can see. It's tucked at one corner instead of a long corridor kitchen which you see in other development. Not just that, it also has a window next to it because interestingly the building design has a small gap in the middle of the block which make the building design looks very special, hence allowing this specific unit type to have a window with an air space. It looks pretty exclusive. So I think this 2 bed 1 bath will be hot in demand. So we don't want to bore you too much. If you'd like to have more information, please contact me or Kaizer via the number below. So let's do the usual. On to the next segment, we're going to do our Property What Scorecard again. So let's look into Orie. We break down into the 10 points. So first point, again, if it's a new launch, we definitely think it has more potential to make money. And of course, overall score, which is more than 7, it has a bigger potential and it's safer to actually enter into this development. Second, are there any URA transformations? Might not be a huge one, but we do know that based on the CNA report, starting from 2025, there'll be 5,000 BTO units will be launching soon, in which the old police academy going to revamp into a new township, just like perhaps a mini Tengah, or even if you compare to Mayflower area, we look at your Kebun Baru, in which if we reference to Amor Residences, it was doing really well, 98% sold on the first day. So we expect the Orie is going to be the similar result as Amor Residences. And layout, as mentioned earlier, there's some very interesting layout and good layouts. Most importantly, this is going to be a harmonized project, so we give a score of 1 as well. So next, this is going to be a less than 5 minutes walk. It's a 5 minutes walk to Breda MRT station, but if your legs are longer, you probably take less than that. So 1 km to primary schools. There are 4 primary schools in the vicinity, with 2 very notable primary schools, the CHIJ Primary and Patron Public School, which I think most parents want to enroll their kids into these 2 primary schools. The next point, we'll be talking about the entry price versus its nearby project. And of course, we are going to use just 2 projects, the closest neighbor, the Gem Residences and Travista. Gem Residences is trending about 2009 averagely to 2000 at the highs. Trevista is about 1007 low and some are trending about 1008 plus plus. And everyone saw how crazy November was. Your Chuan Park going at 2006, EOK going to more than 2006 to even 3000 for one beta, and also many of our upcoming new launches. We suspect the price is not going to be lower than what was launched in November, 26, 27. This is the RCR location and District 12, so we believe the expected price is going to be 27 to 8 at least for the Orie. At this point, you need to think whether is it worth to come into the market at the Orie next to MRT station. 27 to 28 or even 3000 is no surprise to us. So next, if we talk about the project size, this is definitely bigger than your usual mid-size development, more than 400 and 500 number of units. Total again is James Bond 777. So it is a very strong criteria for price appreciation in our view. For rentability, of course, we have done many rentals in Toa Payoh and Ang Mo Kio. It's very easy to rent out. You have very strong demand for rentability because you're just 2 to 4 stops away from Tau, your Orchard, your Newton, and also Novena. It's also a very mature area at the city fringe with your amenities and lifestyle zones. And the next point on the exit strategy, D12, it's a very mature Tau as mentioned. There's a lot of older families, older generation of people who are staying in Toa Payoh and Ang Mo Kio. So D12 is very hot favorite HDB upgraders or those people want to upgrade to a bigger size, 3, 4 or 5 beta, and if their budget permits, they'll be looking to buy in the future, especially for those HB upgraders, or in the longer term where 5, 10 to 15 years later, Mount Pleasant BTOs MOP and they decided to get into the private market, the Orie will be one of the targets. So the resale demand will be definitely strong. Exit strategy is there for you. And lastly, on developer track record and staging, we believe the Orie is going to be sell out heavily on the first day. My prediction will be maybe 70 to 80+% so on the first day, whether or not we have any developer stagings. But we know that this is a 3-way JV with strong track records from each of these 3 developers, CDL, Fraser and Sekisui. These 3 developers produce really good projects and most, about 90% I say, are doing well in terms of profitability and their finishings are great. Based on these 10 points of our Hot Property Scorecard, we think this is a good buy. 9 out of 10. So if you would like to visit the Orie's show flat during its preview and launch date next month, please contact us again. If you have enjoyed the video so far, remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel as we'll be rolling out more new launch review videos on all the exciting launches coming in 2025. Thank you for your time and let's get back to the video.
Early on, Zach shared so much information from his property Hot Scorecard, but one of the less mentioned factors is in the difference in profit when you buy into different floor levels. Allow me to share some interesting data with you. Before diving into details, let's break down the floor level into 3 different groups so it is easier for the comparison later. So for the low floor, we are going to classify it from level 1 to level 5. From level 6 to level 10 will be the mid floor, and from 11 floors and above, it will be considered as high floor. We will use this framework throughout the video to keep things consistent. So here are some common market sentiment towards low floor unit. So the market sentiment indicates that people generally prefer a higher unit because they provide more privacy, better views, less noise, you name it. So it's not a surprise that this unit often command higher prices. Based on the market progression over the past decade, the trend can be seen in both HDB and private condos. In both cases, the price gap between the low floor and the mid floor units tend to be relatively small. However, the jump in value from mid to high floor is pretty obvious. But do high floor always make a better investment? Since high floor units often come with a heftier price tag, does that mean that they always appreciate more? As it turns out, not necessary. Prices also can vary based on supply and demand. If high floor units are short in supply in this popular area, prices will likely to go up. But if there's an oversupply, selling price might be lower as buyers have more options to choose from. As I mentioned earlier, high floor units are usually more desirable to consumer because it offers unblocked views, more privacy. So high floor units come with city skyline views, unblocked greenery views, and waterfront views might command a higher premium over the regular units. But in areas with less appealing surroundings, like industrial zone or building packed together too closely, higher floors doesn't always carry the same value. Imagine paying more for a high floor unit just to get a block view. Take a look at this example. Eco Sanctuary. This 24-story high condo in Bukit Timah offers high floor units overlooking lush greeneries. Naturally, people would pay more for this view. Over the past 10 years, mid and high floor units have shown positive growth, outpacing the lower floor units. Though the low floor units are still seeing positive growth, the appreciation trend isn't as strong compared to their higher floor counterparts. Here's another example. Costa del Sol, a 30-story condo in Bayshore. The high floor units offer stunning sea views that lower floor don't have access to. For context, here's what the view looks like from the upper floor. So of course, this view drives up the prices for high floor units. Let's take a look at the chart. If you pay attention, the appreciation rate for lower floors in this condo is actually outperforming the higher floors. Perhaps it's because the limited supply of the units on the lower floors, or even maybe buyers are simply looking to enter the market at a lower price point. Regardless, high floor units price remains steadily on top, which reflects its value and desirability. Now let's compare those to the Park Condominium, a 24-story development in Clementi that does not have the best view. You can clearly see that the low floor units appreciate faster than the mid and high floor units, which perform similarly. What really stands out is that over the past 10 years, prices for all three floor levels have overlapped multiple times. In 2016 and 2022 specifically, lower floor units even surpassed the prices of mid and high floor units. This suggests that in the development where views are not the main selling point, lower floor units can also shine. So here's my verdict. While high floor units often come with a premium price tag, they are not necessarily the best investment. Although high floor units are expensive for a valid reason, such as privacy and exclusivity, the premium price that you pay doesn't always guarantee you best return. Because if you buy at high price, likely you also need to sell at a higher price later. Same goes for lower floor units. So the appreciation may not differ greatly at all. It is also important to note that the value of a property is also determined beyond the floor levels. Things like market condition, economic shift, demand and supply, and seller's entry price plays a bigger role in your overall return. For example, getting a low price at the start and selling at market peak will impact your profit far more than the floor levels. Coming back to the Orie, whether a high floor unit or a low floor unit, it will ultimately depends on other factors such as your entry price, market timing, and the specific demand for your unit type. High floor units may command a premium due to their exclusivity and privacy, but for lower floor units, when they are priced competitively, they can also appeal to investors and tenants, potentially giving them a better returns in the future. The target preview for Orie will be in January next year. And if you are thinking of buying a unit in the Orie but not sure what you need to choose for your investment or own stay, contact us via this number and we will help you to pick the best unit for your investment.
Okay, that's all for the video. Remember to
Like and subscribe. Remember to share.
and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Bye bye.
Kisesui house. Do you think Kisesui sui or not? Kis.
他讲 Kiseshi right?
Seki sui okay.
Kiseshi 啊，给快点，这个会放进那个 NG。
Seki sui okay.